Hi guys, welcome back to Lauren Without Fear. I wanted to do that infamous tag 50 facts about me, but I wanted to add a little twist. Every time I tried to think of something, it was just about China. So instead of making this about my life in general, this is 50 facts about me in China. Let's get right into it. I use the phrases "bu hao yi and "ting bu dong" every day. In case you don't know, "bu hao yi" is sorry and "ting bu dong" is I don't understand. I'm mildly terrified of footbridges, and there are a lot of them in Beijing. If I'm out and about and I start to get hangry, the first thing I think of is jianbing, and that's usually what I end up getting. I'll just grab a jianbing from a street vendor. I can't figure out how to spit like a Chinese person. One of my favorite things in China is watching the old lady dance groups in the park. My eczema has been worse than ever here in China. I don't know if you can see that, but this is like all red. This has just been a big eczema patch for like months now. I get stared at a lot. I've tasted a lot of Chinese craft beer, and out of all the places I've been, Jing-A here in Beijing is my favorite. I refuse to eat lamb, and I refuse to eat goat and dog, but I think that goes without saying because I have a pet dog. I love biking the insane streets here. The way the traffic flows here in China is so different than what I'm used to, and it's like a freaking video game. I enjoy it thoroughly. If I see a Chinese clothing store with really cute clothes inside, I automatically assume they do not have my size, and I don't even bother looking. When I got my tattoo in Nanjing, I was not able to verbally communicate with my artist. I frequently use squatting toilets of varying disgustingness. The best have a round-the-clock cleaning attendant and actual stalls. The worst was literally one big hole in the ground, and I made eye contact with a rat when I walked in. The first time I went number 2 in a squatting toilet, I texted Eric because I was so proud of myself. Eric and I became experts at using chopsticks because we used to go to this Japanese ramen restaurant in San Francisco, or it's really in Colma, that's just south of San Francisco. We used to go all the time. They use plastic chopsticks, and ramen noodles are very slippery, so we became chopstick experts. And that's why we learned how to use chopsticks so well before we came to China. The thing I miss the most about the US is my dog. I brought 96 tampons to China with me. My face is on thousands of flyers in the Quanjiao area. I can't remember the last time I wore actual pants. We used to make ice cubes with the trays from frozen dumpling packages because we couldn't find actual ice cube trays in Nanjing. I often find random grains of rice around the house, in my purses, and in my pockets. My favorite Chinese vegetables are lotus root, wood ear mushroom, and amaranth leaves. Fun bonus fact, amaranth leaves are actually considered a weed in the US. My biggest concern about going back to the US is that it'll feel too clean and orderly, aka boring. I've never gotten food poisoning in China, but I did in Thailand. I got a succulent plant in Nanjing, and when it started dying, I left it outside in a little garden that was outside of our apartment, hoping that some nice person would come and rescue it. I never saw it again. The only time that I've consistently worn a mask in China was when allergy season was in full swing, and as I biked around, there was visible pollen coming at me. It became unbearable. I wore huge sunglasses and a mask. I used to watch a really popular Chinese TV show called Fei Cheng Urao without subtitles almost every day, and I pretty much never knew what was going on. I still loved it. I bought my GoPro from Amazon China, and it came in less than 24 hours. Every time I try to learn Chinese, this memory of my final grade in my freshman year of college Spanish class comes flooding back to me. I was a really good student with almost all A's, and I got a C in my Spanish class. I've always struggled with languages. I've only been catcalled one time in China. That's a way better number than in the US. I once saw a dog wearing a head-to-toe full-on outfit with little shoes on all 4 of his paws, walking on his hind legs. By the way, he was wearing a hat too, if I'm remembering correctly. Before we came to China, I always got super anxious if we were in a cab and the driver started driving kind of erratically. Now, I'm not even fazed. At different points during our time in China, I've had to talk myself out of buying a bunny, a fish, a turtle, and a cat. In Nanjing, we had an outdoor clothesline, and every time I went to go hang clothes outside, I was convinced that I was going to fall out the window. I loved my managers and my old job in San Francisco, so when I left to come to China, I felt sick to my stomach at least once a day for months and months. I've never seen a thrift store or a charity shop in mainland China. I Skype my parents 2 or 3 times every month. I've been working full-time, maybe more, towards a career in social media since about March, and I just got my first paycheck. There were a couple of my students in Nanjing. They were 5 years old, 2 little girls, and every time when we used to leave the classroom, they would hold my hands as we left the classroom, into the elevator, and all the way until we were outside the building and their parents tore them away. I'm kind of a big deal. I've been collecting gifts for friends and family, and I recently did inventory, and now I'm starting to worry about baggage limits on the flight home. I still don't understand breakfast options in China. I always have and always will love the Disney movie Mulan, no matter how it misrepresents Chinese history. A Chinese kid once described my nose ring as a horror. I used to be obsessed with paper cutting. I once photographed a Nanjing dance company while they filmed a music video. Our neighborhood here in Beijing is quieter than the one in Nanjing. I never thought that would happen. I've seen so many baby butts. I've seen so many men's bellies. I knew virtually nothing about Chinese history or culture before this year. Obviously, I've learned a lot. Baijiu is one hell of a liquor. So that is my 50 facts about my life here in China. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment below. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Hey, no, 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 hey, no, no.